Before I move on, today I'd like to discuss a bit about PCE and GDP data release. So what is next? What is next for the US economic policy? The US economy exhibited a robust performance in the second quarter of 2024, with the GDP revised upwards to a growth rate of 3%. Now, this signals a thriving American consumer base, if you believe in whatever data is being given to you. Now, this uptick marks a significant improvement from the 1.3% growth recorded in the first quarter of 2024, as detailed in the latest report from the Bureau of Economic Analysis, or the BEA. Then you can see very clearly that the GDP has risen here. And 3% right here is quite a good number, because it's like it's much higher, definitely even higher than the entire 2022, and higher than if you compare to Q2 2023 as well, right? So as the core personal consumption expenditure, PCE price index, the preferred Fed measure of inflation, it held steady year on year at 2.6%, aligning with previous figures and slightly below the anticipated 2.7%. Also, the anticipated it would have risen from 2.6 previously to 2.7 this time, but it did not. It stayed steady at 2.6. Whereas on the month-on-month, the index also remained unchanged at 0.2%, meeting expectations. Now, this stability in inflation, coupled with the economic growth that you saw earlier at that 3%, suggests that the Federal Reserve might lean towards a more conservative rate cut on 25 basis points, because they want to make sure that inflation is really coming down. And Powell, yes, he has said that he believes it's coming down, but why want to take chance, right? So if the economy is still chugging along, doing well with such high interest rates, right? Why want to deal with it? 25 basis points is okay. I can cut more later. So the chances of the 50 basis points, the more aggressive one, is not as high, given the GDP and the PCA data right now. Now, so it might seem pretty straightforward at first, right? But you consider this, the significant downward revision of jobs growth by 818,000, the positions there. Now, this was revealed to you last week, right? So this revision here casts a shadow over the simply beyond economy. So this discrepancy raises concerns about potential inconsistencies in economic data. Could we see significant revisions to the final GDP figures in response to these anomalies? This is the question that we need to go and check, okay? Because it is crucial. Now, the critical issue, regardless any later revisions to GDP, revolves around the situation, around the sustainability of economic growth amidst a backdrop of declining jobs growth. 818,000 is not, I repeat, is not a small number. Okay. So, this uncertainty heightens the importance of the forthcoming non-farm employment and unemployment data, right? So because of this, we need to look into the overall thing. Now, over the past months, unemployment trends have been on the rise, with survey indicating a hiring slowdown and increasing perceptions among workers that good jobs are becoming scarce. Now, so after last Friday's data release, market sentiments have shifted slightly towards a modest 25 basis point rate cut, with the CME Group's FedWatch 2 now indicating a reduced likelihood down to 30% of a larger 50 basis point adjustment. So 70% are pointing towards 25 basis points, 30% pointing towards 50. So as you all know, in the past, whenever we have the 70% mark, that is probably the one, that result that we're going to get, okay? The employment figures will be pivotal. If payroll numbers fall below 100,000, okay, and the unemployment rate increases to 4.4, then a 50 basis point cut could be justified right over here. So if this Friday, it is important to see this. Now, especially considering Federal Reserve Chairman Powell's statement that the Fed does not seek or welcome further cooling in labor market conditions. Yeah. Conversely, if payroll numbers approximate 150K and the unemployment rate remains at 4.3% or lower, a 25 basis point adjustments would be deemed sufficient. So this is something that we need to check and double check going forward, and we'll see. Okay. So Friday, when Friday comes, you know what to do next. Yeah.